Preeya, I'm going to make you my udon noodles with prawns and shiitake mushrooms. And I love these fresh shiitake mushrooms. They have a great flavour. If you come across them in the supermarket or the grocery store, buy them. They'll be a little bit more expensive than regular mushrooms, but they have an amazing flavour. That's what I like about them. Now, I've got my pan on here and I'm going to get it started. And we're going to make everything really, really quickly because that's what street food's all about, isn't it?
Into a frenzy.
I get all warmed up and all excited when we do this because everything's going in at once and, I have to make sure nothing burns. Now, we're going to make the sauce here, which is really important. So I've got some sugar for some sweetness. We love a bit of sweetness in there. And for some spice, I've got some sriracha chili sauce.
Yeah.
We liking it spicy?
We like it spicy.
All right.
Go hard on that.
There we go. I'm going right hard there. There we go. There's plenty of that in there. In it goes. And I'm also using some dark soy. And this is a great sauce that you can make. You can make a large amount of it, pop it in the fridge or in the pantry and use it later on.
Beautiful.
But I reckon once you've made it, it's going to be so delicious, you're just going to want to crack on and
eat it up.
Exactly.
Especially with that amount of chilli in there. I
Light
love that.
sauce in there as well, a good splish of that.
Yep.
Probably making a little bit much for this dish, but I might cook noodles later on, so we can't waste any of it.
Oh.
And in goes some oyster sauce. I love oyster sauce, and you've got to give it a bit of a tap on the bottom because it's really thick and packed full of flavour.
Yes.
Now this is oyster sauce that is got oysters in it. If you want, you can get vegetarian oyster sauce, which is just as tasty. Now if you mix that around, we'll come over to the pan over here and the pot of boiling water. I'm just going to turn that around. You can see this is bubbling away very, very nicely. All that aroma is starting to fill the kitchen. And I can start turning it up now because this is where the excitement part comes along. Up to number 8, which is almost maximum velocity. Mushrooms are being sliced into lots of lovely pieces. I want them to fry and cook, but still hold a bit of shape. Now, while you're doing that, I want you to crack those 2 eggs into the bowl there and give them a bit of a whisk. Now, when you're doing a dish like this, it's going to happen fairly quickly. So you want to have everything sort of organised.
Ready to go, throw in the pan.
Exactly. Now, I would normally have it before I even put anything into the bowl here, but because I've got such wonderful help, I can sort of do it halfway along as I go.
Said with a strong dose of sarcasm, I reckon.
No sarcasm whatsoever. I would never use sarcasm at all. It's just the last thing at all. Now, I've got a fork here for you to whisk it up.
Oh, yes, thank you. Sorry, I forgot about that step, Chef. Yes,
that's all right. I'm here to help you out. Now, I've got some herbs over there as well once you've finished those eggs, so you can keep working and keep on with this. I've got some garlic chives, which are a lovely herb. If you come across them, use them. They are really delicious. Some coriander and spring onion. There's a couple of bunches of each over there. I want you to chop it all from top to bottom, about an inch or 2. Now, this is frying up beautifully. And I put a little bit of extra oil in here because when I put the mushrooms in, I know that the mushrooms are going to soak up some of that lovely extra virgin olive oil.
Oh, yes.
OK, that's coming up beautifully. Now, at this stage here, I'll add a little bit of salt.
Yes, you've already got the soy in there, though.
Yeah, just a little bit of salt.
OK.
Just a little bit. We like to season as we go along. There's no need to get too excited. You're getting all excited here, aren't you?
No, I'm catching on to your energy. OK.
You know how good this is going to be. That's what it's all about. Now, these are big, fat, juicy prawns. I've had all the shells removed and they've been deveined as well and the head's been taken off. In they go. Now, if they're really big and fat, you can slice them in half, which means that, it spreads all the way through. Yes. But, we love prawns.
We do.
So
I'm a big fan.
Exactly. So a big chunky piece of prawn goes on there. And the thing about prawns, they cook really, really quickly. So as soon as they change colour, they go from this translucent colour to a solid white or red, depending on the type of prawn. You know they're cooked.
They're done.
Exactly. So I'm going to slide these over here. And I've done this before, and this is something I really like doing with the egg, is I put the egg in the side here like this, and because I'm using a really nice non-stick pan, this egg won't stick at all. I want the egg to mix all the way through, so there's no point frying it in another pan and making multiple steps. I just want to start it to cook like this, and then I start stirring it all the way through. You'll see this in a lot of Asian cuisines where they mix the egg in there. Indian as well, they'll do that, and then they'll put some roti bread over the top of it and fold it, but we'll save that recipe for another time.
We will, and maybe we'll leave the Indian stuff to Preeya. Maybe.
well, I was brought up by an Indian mama, so I had quite
We hear about it often, don't worry.
I've had quite a lot of time eating Indian food. In fact, when we came back to Australia, my mother had to teach me how to eat with a knife and fork. In goes the udon noodles. Now, when you're cooking noodles, you really got to read the packet so you know how they're cooked. Some noodles cook in 5 to 10 minutes. These ones, about 30 seconds is all you need. That water that's in the pot is great for
a bit of juiciness.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice. And we're going to flavour it up, I assume.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
And then we're going to flavour up with everything else. Now, I've got the herbs, and you've cut these beautifully.
Thank you, Chef. That
really
means the world
it.
to me that you've given me a compliment about my chopping.
Really? Really? There we go.
Not that that's a point of contention.
Oh, it's not at
Oh,
all.
more salt.
It's a little bit of salt and a little bit for the devil who's over my shoulder. Now, the sauce here, we're going to pour that in. That's going to give me some lovely noodles. In it goes. That's nice and hot. I reckon I've put about half a cup of sauce in there.
Yep.
Over there it goes. Now, I would toss this, but I'm wearing a beautiful shirt and I don't want to get the noodles all over me. So I'll just, with the tongs, get it going like this and get all of the noodles. And you
Beautiful.
can see that dark colour of the sauce?
I do. It's looking good. You could even throw some extra veggies in here, I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's looking great like this, isn't it? It's perfect,
well,
yeah.
I love, you get this stance. There's, if everyone could see behind the bench.
Just
there's
moving
a real,
back and forward.
Yes, it's like this.
At one with the noodles, at one with the pan, like this, there we go. Now, we're ready to finish this off. And that's the beauty of street food. It's all quick and easy. By the time you've lined up, paid your couple of bucks, stood in line for a minute, it's in your belly. So I'll grab some of this and pop it onto the plate here.
Smells glorious.
It does, doesn't it? Now, you could put some veggies in here, but that looks fantastic, just like that, Preeya. And on top of that, I'm just going to put some fried onions on here, which gives it a bit of crunch and some flavour.
Nice.
And some sesame seeds that have been toasted on there as well.
Lovely.
It looks like a great little dish, doesn't it?
It does.
There we go. Something you would expect to see on the side of the road.
Absolutely.
Ready to go.
I'm going to go straight for a prawn. You know I love these.
I have a little mushroom. And Preeya's put a whole prawn in her mouth and she's going to chew away on that, which means she's going to be quiet for at least a minute or so. Well, I tell you how delicious it is. Lovely soft noodles, the egg in there, lots of salty flavour. I love the colour of it. And I reckon that prawn is juicy and delicious.
It's cooked perfectly. I would probably chuck a few more veggies in there, but that is a very delightful dish.
I would have to agree with you.